In this lecture, we would like to discuss the notion of differentials and approximations. See, consider the real life problems related with approximations. One can use the notion of differentials there. See, for example, suppose a chemist is working in his laboratory. He may be using catalyst to increase the initial speed of the chemical reaction. In such a situation, he should like to know the effect of a small increase in the catalyst to increase the initial speed of the chemical reaction. In a very similar way, if you are working in the business field, a businessman or woman may like to know the variation of the profit, raising the unit price of a product by a small amount. So, just changing an input in a small amount, how the variation for the output, approximately can you find it? And precisely what is the mathematical notion for these things? These are going to be discussed here. So in our mathematical world, all these situations are given by or given through the modeling of functions. So let y equals f of x be the given function or the model of our problem, real life problem. Now in both the cases what we have discussed, whether it is in the chemist lab or a businessman's picture, we have an input x, we have an corresponding output y. So a small change in input value, what is going to be the effect of the y value, the variation of y? That is, more precisely, x is changed to a small amount. Mathematically, we say that with x, we are trying to give an addition. Addition means addition or subtraction may happen depending on the small amount. That small amount, normally mathematicians will use as a delta x. An increment we used to call. Maybe positive or negative. Negative usually called decrement. But whatever it may, x is changing to x plus delta x, some small quantity in the input value. So what we are trying to look at is what is the effect on y. That is, as x is changing to x plus delta x, what about y values? Y values means f of x is going to change to f of x plus delta x. This is what it is going to come. So here x to x plus delta x, it actually gives you the change is something like x plus delta x minus x, which gives us delta x. And in this situation, we have a variation in corresponding variation in y. So how will you obtain that? It is actually f of x plus delta x minus f of x. That is what is going to give you the variation in y. Or conveniently, we can write it as delta y. So an input increment, what is the effect of the output variation? Corresponding to delta x, what should be the delta y variation? This is the fundamental thing you are going to ask. One can have computations in evaluating all such things. Now let us look for some examples. If you are looking at very simple examples, we can try some y values and some functional evaluations and all. So just we can have a look at. See, the moral of the thing is like that. If you are working on a mathematical model which is given by y equals f of x, a variation in x, what should be the corresponding variation in y? Geometrically, this is what is going to happen. Whenever we have the function y equals f of x drawn like this, each x input will give the point on the graph as x f of x. An increment if it is on positive side, you will be getting correspondingly x plus delta x on here, the right side, and it gives you corresponding point as x plus delta x comma f of that value, s plus delta x value. This is what is going to happen. So you have a variation here, x to delta x like this. Geometrically, this y coordinates are also changing. So you are interested on this part, the delta y part. So let us look at the problem. As an example, we will try. Consider a function y equals 2x cubed minus x plus 1. That may be a model of some experiment, for example. Simply, you are asked to find out delta x and delta y in two situations. X input value x changes from 3 to 3.01. So how will you do that? Next one, 3 to 2.98. Here it is increasing happens. In the second situation, it's a decreasing amount it happens. So delta x may be either positive or negative, something like that. It will come accordingly. It is very simple. So what is the variation going to happen? See, y is here. That is f of x. Y is going to be your f of x, which is given to be this thing. Delta x means, in the first case, you are 3 to 3.01. So x plus delta x minus x you have to look at, which means 3.01 minus 3. You will be getting 0.01. Look at your y evaluation or functional formula. There you can find the corresponding delta y. Apply it. Delta y variation is given by difference between f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Just give the inputs f at 3.01 and f at 3. Take the difference, evaluate, you will be getting like this. So in the second part, x is changing from 3 to 2.98. So obviously, the difference in the proper way, if you are taking, is a negative quantity. It's a decrement, in fact. Corresponding y variation, as per the formula, evaluate it. So you have to be careful, and f of x plus delta x is now f at this value minus f at 3 again. Compute it, you will be reaching at here. So this is what they are going to give the corresponding y variations. So one can easily compute all these things using the clear-cut formula. If it is available, you can do. But computation should be a little bit hard. Now, the question comes, then why differentials, or what are differentials, and how they are going to help us in this kind of problems? That is the next thing what you are going to address. So, what are differentials? To answer that question, just look at some preliminary notions, what we have gone through graphically, that will be helping us. See, suppose we are equipped or starting with a function, which is a smooth function, I mean a differentiable function. So I may have a graph of the function, something like this. This may be my y equals f of x. So as I said before, at each x, we may have the corresponding x f of x point correspondingly. And if you are just changing a little bit, x plus delta x correspondingly may give you here some point. Maybe this I may write some p, this may be some s or something like that. This corresponds to x plus delta x and f of x plus delta x. So about variations, this was the thing what you have looked for. This was our delta x, and if you are looking at from y to y plus delta y, the functional evaluation changes something like this. This is what you observe. Now look at, see, we have some, if the function is differentiable, and suppose we have a tangent at this point P. So look at the tangent at P. Whenever you are looking that, if it is y equals f of x is differentiable there and tangent is there, it will be like this. Now once again, if you are, this is our delta x part, this is our delta y part. Now look at the tangent. So corresponding to this delta x, you have, it's not the thing, delta y part. So if you are making smaller and smaller, a small amount of input variation means this is becoming small. Delta x is making small enough. So what happens for this y coordinate? This is almost taking, see this distance, see basically what is going to happen is the tangent is, this is coming nearer and nearer, and the y coordinate correspondingly merges with that. So that idea we will use it. The idea is nothing other than that, just to look at a neighborhood of a very nearing part of this point x, corresponding x. look at the tangent there. Whenever delta x is small, the y coordinate correspondingly gives the good approximation for this thing. So locally you can do this kind of work there. That's what we are trying to look at now. So more formally, this is the situation. We have y equals f of x. We have a tangent there. It's a differentiable function, right? So this is the delta x variation. Correspondingly, you have a delta y variation here. Now tangent is there, and we know some calculus about it. If it makes an angle theta in the positive direction, then obviously you can work out PQR triangle here. And what is going to happen is, in this picture, whenever delta x is small, this is a very small quantity, the y coordinate of the point r, I mean this is the point r here, that means, so the y coordinate of this point r is a good approximation for our f of x plus delta x, because f of x plus delta x is the full thing here. So this entire thing, whenever you are making small enough, that will merges with this idea. So that will be negligible. This part is very much negligible, and it goes as it goes towards x. So one can take an approximation like that. So what you are aiming at, we will use some terminologies here. If you are using this as input variation as before as delta x, obviously the delta y corresponding variation we know. On the approximation side, whenever delta x is small, this dy can be approximated, or it approximates dy. I am writing this qr, this length. Whenever I am making small delta x, obviously dy is going to be, if I am marking dy something like here, that dy is going to give us an approximation as delta y. This is geometrically what it happens. Now what is dy and all? That you will check now. See, you look at the triangle PQR, that you will investigate again. So we have PQR, the triangle PQR. From there, once the tangent is there, it's a differentiable function, everything is supplied for us. Then what we know about them? Actually this, then what you are going to get is a dy, our notation dy, this is from the triangle I am trying to look for. Dy by the delta x actually going to give you the tan theta from the triangle. But that tan theta is going to become f dash x whenever it is differentiable. So this implies what? This implies we have dy, which is given to be, this formula immediately gives you dy equals tan theta delta x, but tan theta is f dash x. So f dash x, I mean f prime x, I mean basically f prime x delta x, that is the appropriate word to use. So dy is going to be, precisely dy is going to be f dash x delta x, right? So how these things are going to be useful now. So dy you are going to get. So we formally define all such things. Dy is actually giving you the variations, precise variation in this case. So it gives you what exactly is going to be the delta y part. That's what you are going to use it now. So we'll define it. The input x is there. So it gives, if you are allowing a variation delta x, corresponding variation delta y you are interested, that delta y one can approximate through this dy. That is what the whole moral. So that allows us to say a good definition for this thing. So delta x is the input thing. It's an independent fellow depending on x, only on x. So that is what we are going to call dx. So we will define dx, which is called the differential of x, and it is simply the delta x. You have no freedom on that. It is an independent fellow. That is the increment of x, simply the increment of x, no change in it. This is what is the differential of x by mean. It's a definition. But differential of y dy will define through this formula, which is not dy, delta y. It is actually given by f dash x times delta x. This is how. So what is this delta x? That is dx. That is our definition. So dy formally defined as f dash x dx. So these two definitions we can use it. Whenever y is a function of x, f of x, it's a differentiable function. The differential dx of the independent variable x is dx. It is simply delta x, just the increment in x. The differential dy of the dependent variable y is dy. That is given by the formula f dash x dx, or delta x in this case. So this is the whole moral. And obviously you have to note a little bit what while looking at this thing, delta x is same as that of the increment is same as that of the differential, but dependent variable dy, it is different by the formula it given. Moreover, dy is a very good approximation for the change in y, that is corresponding delta y you can look at. So these things what can formally write it down, and obviously the notes also will be useful, which I have already stated. Moreover, for a fixed x, dy is a linear function of dx. It behaves like a line. That's all. That is what meaningful in the case of linear function and all. So the whole idea one can use that the approximation of delta y is given by dy. Whenever delta x is small, this is highly compatible, and see the things. We can just work out the same example. We have worked out an example y equals 2x cubed minus x plus 1 in previous way, and we actually calculated what is delta y's before. These were the calculations. The same problem we can work through this by looking at dy concept here, and you will see what is going to happen. So consider the same problem. So find out dy to approximate delta y. So remember, we are trying to look at dy, the differential of y, for as an approximation for delta y. That is what you are going to look. How dy is given? Dy is applied as f dash x dx. How will you find out then? See, our y is 2x cubed minus x plus 1. So immediately, if you are using the formula, f dash x is given by 6x square minus 1. Put it, you will be getting like this. Now, in the first part, actually, we are changing 3 to 3.01. So what is our dx? Dx corresponds to delta x only. So dx is once again coming at a 0.01. So dy, the formula will be just given through that evaluations. That is dy, we have to look at f dash x, that is 6x square minus 1 at that evaluation 3, and you are getting 3, you have to put it, that's 6, 3 square minus 1. Then just push the dx, that is delta x. It gives the formula like that. Originally, delta y is what? Actual value was something, computed value was 0.531802. So this delta y is roughly 0.53. But this is easy to calculate. You just differentiate it in formula, you plug it inside. Very similarly, in the second case also you can do that. Dx is minus negative 0.02, just apply it in, the same thing you will get. But once again, you can see that this dy is going to give a very good approximation for delta y. So these ideas can be used well whenever you are working in real life problems. So there are many applications for the things. See, while we are using a mathematical model, and a variation in the input means sometimes an error, it may represent an error in our computation, in our machinery, in our formula, everything like that, measurement and all. So how differentials can be used effectively on error estimates? What we mean by that is, whenever we are getting a mathematical model y equals f of x, which resembles some real life problem. Input x, while measuring the input x, some error might have been occurred. So that error propagates through the system, and finally that give the corresponding error, propagated error altogether in y. So we can make use of differentials to calculate the error, the resulting error, the delta y. Whenever x is making something as an additional, term something like delta x, that can be termed as the error, that the corresponding error in delta y we can calculate by an approximation of dy. Let us look at a live problem. For the time being, just assume that moon is a perfect sphere, and we would like to measure the surface area of the moon. So if you know the radius of the moon, there is a nice formula to find out. Mathematically, you can relate them. S can be given by 4 pi r square. So S is depending on r. Once you know the r, you will find out the surface area S. So while measuring r, you may make a mistake or a small error may occur. If you know about that, actually the final result, S also it will be affected. So that delta S you can find out actually. For the delta S, we can make use of ds. ds I mean the differential of S, because everything is, instead of y equals f of x, we are trying S equals f of r. That's all. So just look at the following problem. So in this mentioned problem, while looking at r, while measuring r, it is supposed to commit an error of 0.05 miles. And we have somehow found out it has the radius 1080 miles. So the problem is find the maximum error in the computed surface area of the moon. So once again, with r, our formula will look like S equals 4 pi r square. Now in making r, we have made some error. So take delta r as 0.05, and that error will give you a delta S, corresponding delta S. So delta r is dr in this situation. It is very small. Delta S approximated by ds, the differential of S, which is given by the formula f prime at r delta r. Obviously, it gives you 8 pi r dr, because our function is 4 pi r square, and differentiation you will get f prime of r as 8 pi r. Just substitute. R is found out to be 1080. dr is 0.05. Just obtain delta S, appropriately putting it, and you will be getting 1357.17. So a maximum error you can calculate. This is an approximation for ds. So you will be getting 1357 if you are just making it to the integer part, mile square. So this is one of the best application that you can see. This is not the only way of understanding what exactly is the error here. Actually, see, this error we have obtained, in evaluation for these things, to make the picture very clear, you can just talk about the relative way also, or the percentile way also. That also we can look at, because see, while a reading is taken for 0.05, the error is occurring for the dr or delta r part, and we know that 1080 is the total r is there. So if you are measuring that quotient dr by r, it will give a relative error, right? So 0.05 divided by 1080 will give the relative error in r. A relative error in S also you can find out by just looking this, obtained by ds by S, total S, that's all. So both these things we can work out, and it is easy to convey the things, numerals very well. So if the relative error in R, the R out of R, that is 0.05 out of 1080, which is given approximately like this. And if you are interested in the error in S, ds out of S, which means 8 pi r dr divided by 4 pi r square, which actually amounts as the simplification give 2r dr. Substitute the values and you will be getting this one. Even you can percentage error also you can find out in both case. What you have to do is out of 100 you have to do that. So this question just multiply by 100 will give you the percentage error. So it will be the very clear picture. You will be getting the things. So in this problem, R, while looking at R, you have an error committed like this. Approximate relative error is this into 100. I mean dr by r into 100. That actually gives you the percentile things and you will be getting like this. And about S also you can look at like that. So all these quantities are equally important. The error, relative error, percentage error. In any calculations, these kind of terminologies are appearing. So we can formally state it. Whenever you are working with a quantity Q and any quantity, and error if you are denoting by delta Q, so delta Q by over Q will give the relative error in the measurement. Into 100 you will give the percentage error. So all these three terminologies can be remembered well while looking at the real life problems. It's highly useful. All these techniques are going to be very useful. In application side, this is actually the real life application I am trying to look at. But we will come back to the mathematical side strongly. We can apply it for linear approximations too. See, while geometry is discussed, one of the simplest geometrical figures are lines. It's easy to tackle. An arbitrary function y equals f of x is given for us. It may be very complicated and tough function by geometrically as well as analytically. But using lines, we will try to approximate the things. Lines, I mean appropriate lines. Basically, what I am keeping in my mind is tangents at the point whenever it's existing. Let us discuss that also. So whenever y equals f of x is applied for us, you look at a point A. At that point corresponds a f of a on the graph. And if your function is very nice, for example, it is going to be a differentiable function, and the tangent we are going to give at a is given by y equals L of x, then in this situation, our theory will help us. Actually, we can see y equals f of x, the original rule. But instead of that, it may be a very difficult curve or a very difficult expression. But y equals Lx is a straight line, which is a tangent at a. At the tangency at a, so a neighbor in a nearing points towards a, if you are working with, we can approximate y equals f of x by Lx. That is the whole idea, broad idea of the things. If you are working near to a for a nice curve, you can approximate through the tangents. I mean, tangents means the line here. That is what we are keeping in our mind while talking about linear approximation. How these things are justifiable. So what you are asking for is at a, you are having the point a f of a. So tangent at a, you can easily find out the expression point slope form, because if it is a differentiable function, so f dash at a is existing. So you will be getting something like y minus f of a is going to be equal to f prime at a into x minus a. This is what is going to be the equation of the tangent, which is given by y equals L of x. This is what is our L of x. So our y is supplied by L of x, which is given by this formula. Now, just to look at, see, whenever we are having x as input and y is output, variation in x, that is an increment in x, is delta x, and the corresponding increment in y is delta y. So suppose So we have the delta y expression usually as f of x plus delta x minus f of x. This is how it is given. So in this situation, you are interested in nearing to a. So just give a substitution x to a. At a you are interested, and you just give delta x to be x minus a. Then what it says? This delta y actually taking nice form in that case. X is again a. So you will be getting the expression for delta y as f of x minus f of a. So your delta y is going to be f of x minus f of a. So what is f of x minus f of a? In fact, f of x minus f of a, if you are looking at, this is delta y that is approximated by the differential dy. But then what is dy? Dy, you are looking at nearing a, so it is going to be f dash at a into x minus a, right? So this says what? This says your f of x is approximated by f at a plus f dash at a into x minus a. Now look at the right hand side, that is just you have seen, it is Lx. What it says? The function y equals f of x, that evaluations for the function can be given through the evaluation through Lx. Lx, I mean this equation of the tangent there. So that is highly justifiable whenever the function is very nice. So we call that this expression, that is Lx, which is going to be f at a plus f prime at a into x minus a. This expression as the linear approximation of f at a. In fact, that idea, geometrically you are just approximating as the straight line, the tangent at a, that's all. So the function f of x values can be taken from this simple expression of line. The sampling equations are basically comes out later as linear functions. So in a small interval, if you are very near to the a, you won't make much mistakes on the thing, this approximation. So you can take Lx, which is given by f of a plus f prime at a at x minus a into x minus a will give the formula for evaluating y equals f of x2. So that can be applied in the example. Find the linearization of a function f of x equals square root of x at the point a equals 4. So it's asked in the B part, actually asked to approximate all these at all the points 3.9, 3.98, etc., etc. Actual results one can do it also. So what we have to do? See, look at the first part. Corresponding to here a is given to be 4. So our formula is f of x is square root of x, which on f prime at x is generally given by 1 by 2 root x. Just find out f prime at 4. You'll be getting 1 by 4. F at 4 also using the formula, that is 2. Simply apply in this equation, linear equation, which is L of x is given by f at 4 plus f dash f prime at 4 into x minus 4. So, into x minus 4. Evaluate it, you will be getting 1 by 4 x plus 1. So which says that this formula can be used to find out the evaluation for the thing. So if you are just evaluating using this formula, one can actually find out. Just put up appropriate x's here and you will be getting appropriate values. So to find out this, what do we have to say? Square root of 3. So first one is square root of 3.9. So how will you evaluate that? So to evaluate that, square root of 3.9, that is f at 3.9 we are interested, which can be taken as L at 3.9. That's all. So simply this formula you have to put that 3.9, that is 1 by 4 times 3.9 plus 1, which actually approximates to 1.975. So that gives the approximation. Very similar way you do it for 3.98 square root of 4, etc., etc. And one can compare it with the using calculator also. That will be a good exercise to understand how linearization can be used well. See, all these things are fine. So while we are always trying delta y to approximated by dy. So differential of that fellow, whenever you are approximated by delta y, actually you can look at is it justifiable? Is there any error in this approximation too? That is, you may be interested in looking at the following thing. We are approximating delta y, the variation in y, by dy. So how will you find the difference? Delta y minus dy you have to look at. Just apply the formula. You will try. So error in the approximation actually amounts to do like this, because delta y is this fellow. Dy is applied by f prime x and delta x. So simply manipulating it, f of x plus delta x minus f of x delta x here. So this amounts to this. But the last statement, what I have written, that equation, the last part, just look at, then you will get the understanding. See, f of x plus delta x minus f of x by delta x minus f prime at x into delta x. Delta x is a small quantity usually whenever error is concerned or whatever it may concern. Now look at the bracketed expression. Whenever delta x is small, what this first quantity stands for? It actually stands for f prime at x, right? So whenever delta x is so small or infinitesimally small, this stands for f dash x and the difference is simply 0. It's a very small quantity, right? So it says that if you are looking at the error in this approximation, it is very negligible. So delta y minus dy, if you are interested, basically a small quantity depending on x. That is what usual representation of mathematicians is epsilon of delta x into delta x. So this quantity is simply written as epsilon, some function of delta x, that's all. But this is a very small number. This is also a very small number. Don't confuse with this notation epsilon. Epsilon is always interesting for mathematicians to denote smallness, that's all. So it's a small number again multiplied by a small number, should be again small, very, very small. So this approximation is perfect. That's what it says. So many life problems, living problems are supplied in the good texts and all. One can actually visit and do and experience the power of these differentials too.